I'm Sam Mitchell, and these are my stories. Hi, folks, on good day. Today, first, welcome you to Autism Rocks and Rolls. Now, before we get messed up, I'm not a psychiatrist. If you're united with autism, please see a physician. I only speak based on my experiences. I also do not own the right to the intro natural that are found on ytmp3.com. I should also mention I am selling t-shirts for only $20. Be sure to get yours today. I should also mention I have a mission statement to be with all of you. The mission of Autism Rocks and Rolls is to take the stigma off of autism and other conditions that many are disabilities. People on spectrum are not broken and do not need to be fixed. Those who have conditions always want to be pitied. There's nothing to be sorry about. I also have a paid for the following. Moose Lodge in Bloomington is a must-see. Dr. Henry Wilson, who constructed the first moose home in the Louisville, Kentucky area in 1888, may have started the organization, giving guys a place to gather, socialize, and have fun was the moose's main objective when it originally opened. You can participate in a variety of activities with others or alone at their nearby lodging. The Moose hosts a number of events, including athletic events, concerts, holiday festivities, and fine dining. Look at it now. And there are some people I'd like to thank. Our good friend Temple Grant, C124, Pictures on the Ranch from Temple Grandin, will be speaking and doing meet and greets in Orlando, Florida on Monday, December 29th. That's not all, because Miss Grant is this year's recipient of the Portrait of a Nation Award. Her portrait will be viewed at the Smithsonian Portrait Gallery from October through December before becoming a permanent collection for the museum. Good job, Temple. We are so happy for you. Like Temple's going to speak, I had done a couple of speaking engagements myself. The first one I did was the 2025 CASE Conference in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, while the other was the 2025 Special Education Conference in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. At both of these amazing conferences, I spoke to special education administrators and teachers. An extra thank you goes to Carrie Turner for inviting me to the CASE Conference, while Ed Events gets a special thank you for accepting my proposal and letting me speak in Wisconsin Dells. That is not the only event I did, because I also had the privilege to participate in Autism Night at the IU women's basketball game. We participated by throwing t-shirts and waving to the energetic fans at the game. As a matter of fact, our friends the All Abilities Choir sang the national anthem. I had an amazing time. Presley McPhee deserves a special acknowledgement for the invite and for letting us set up a booth during the game. Also, I did some more public speaking, personal development by going to the Public Speaking Masterclass event that was hosted by David McRae. Thank you, Dave, for letting me come on and learn some new information. Plus, I went back to my classic Zoco Speed Networking event. While I mainly saw old acquaintances, I did make some new ones too. Finally, I went on the Autism Digest podcast that was hosted by AR friend Kay McEllen, C305, Movie Mouse with Kay McEllen for more information. What a cool podcast, everyone. Leila Farschian, with over 25 years of expertise in autism education and behavioral interventions, stands at the intersection of education technology and social impact, holding a master's in applied behavior analysis from Columbia's University's Teachers College, along with credentials as a board-certified behavior analyst and certified special educator. Her early career success was marked by her autism program being recognized among New Jersey's top 3 by the State Board of Education, setting the stage for her future innovations in the field. Farschian has established and scaled multiple educational organizations. She established Learner Compass to provide specialized services for children with autism and create ABA Toolbox, a comprehensive practice management platform that is revolutionizing how therapeutic services are delivered across schools, agencies, and universities. Her influence extends beyond direct service provision through her roles as the co-founder of Farschian Art, president of Farschian Art Foundation, and founder of the Global Schoolhouse Project. Farschian's commitment to global education initiatives is evident through her role as a board member with the International Health Awareness Network, where she contributes to educational programs that impact communities worldwide. Throughout her career, she has constantly demonstrated expertise in applied behavior analysis, methodology, program design, and educational leadership. Her work continues to bridge the gap between evidence-based practices and real-world implementation, improving outcome for the children with autism and special needs across diverse learning environments. Please help me welcome the accomplished Leila to Autism Rocks and Rolls. Leila, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, Sam. How are you? Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I really appreciate it. Wonderful to meet you. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Of course, anytime. I gotta introduce my guest, right? Gotta roll up the red carpet somehow. So my first question to you is, what does working in the autism field mean to you?
It means that I get to contribute to a community that I have so much respect for and so much admiration for. Individuals with autism work very hard in terms of achieving their goals, achieving great outcomes. And if we can facilitate that in any way, it's an honor. I love working with the families, I love being of service. And I've had the privilege and to have really good training at Columbia and the CABAS program so that effective science can be disseminated. Proud to be part of that work.
You were talking about you respect that population so much. Do you want to tell me why?
Absolutely. I'll tell you a little bit about myself and why I came to that. I went through about 10 schools between the ages of first grade and 12th grade. Education and connection were challenging for me. When I started working with individuals with disabilities and autism, seeing what they face every day in the schools, seeing what they face every day with learning and connecting, there was something that resonated for me. And there was this mutual understanding and respect that formed my foundation.
Do you think transitioning from that many schools taught you any life lessons?
It taught me how valuable connections can be, how building those social connectivity leads to good mental health. Being part of a community consistently is definitely something that I think is very valuable. I didn't have so much of that. I had to switch around. Whenever we have a struggle in life, I think it teaches us the value of what could be on the other side of it. And it's important for me to be part of that solution.
Now, what were your initial thoughts when you decided you were going to get involved with the autism field?
Really, what happened was I was babysitting a child with autism because my father's friend had adopted 5 children. 2 were on the spectrum. And I had a great connection with this child. And then I wound up doing volunteer work in high school. And I really did the same. I did disabilities care there too. It was very fulfilling for me to work with children with autism. And then later on, my nephew also has a son on the spectrum as well. Overall, it was just something natural because the creativity of education, the creativity of lesson planning, as well as the science that comes with behavior analysis, really seeing that creativity turn into data points that was measurable and visual and validated was extremely rewarding.
Why don't you tell me some of the memories you've had when you babysat the child with autism?
Oh, goodness. I was only 15 years old. I remember one of them was that we were on the swing and she loved being on the swing and she would smile and be so happy. We turned it into a game and we'd stop swinging for a minute. She would giggle and look at me and be excited. And then I would get the swing going again and we would belly laugh. And I remember just really enjoying that connection with her.
Right. And that connection has led you to many more connections, hasn't it?
It has led me to so many more. I remember working with one student or learner when we don't have favorites, right, as educators, but sometimes we do. This kiddo, so smart, so many different great things about him. I remember the parent from the bottom of the stairs saying, "Hey, Leila, what's going on up there? You were supposed to be there 3 hours. It's been 4." I just totally lost track of time working with him. We were having a great session. That was once I started the behavior analytic ABA therapy.
From your perspective and a ABA perspective, how do you think a brain with autism operates?
Very good question. Sam, I think that we have to really respect the spectrum, right? It comes with so many different variations. Some of the different things that neurologically comes with autism can be shaped into strength for that individual quite a bit. The detail, the routine, the attention to sameness. It's really hard for me to box it in. And I think I have to really just say there is so much in the spectrum. One individual with autism is going to be just one brain. There are also patterns that we have to pick up on so we can do assessments. And I think one thing that is challenging about autism is that the spectrum might be too wide.
Go into that a little more. I'm interested about that.
Well, we used to have Asperger's syndrome. Now we have autism spectrum disorder as one spectrum. And so it goes from children who are possibly need lifelong care, have limited vocal language, all the way to individuals who are excelling in certain subjects and have social challenges. They don't have comorbidities like other children with autism might.
A great example of that is Temple Grandin and myself, because we've had conversations about this before. The way she thinks is in pictures. Example, look at her in science. Me? No. It's with words. Case in point, look at me in English.
Incredible. You see, that's right.
Talk about the most difficult part. What is the most rewarding part of working in the autism field?
I think seeing the potential, meeting the individual where they are at that stage in their life, and having a set of tools to help them at their own pace through gentle and consistent persuasion, through individualizing care, and seeing how far they come and seeing the family hear for the first time things that they haven't heard before, or go outside and have a vacation because they haven't had that before, or have certain family functions that they can attend now. It gives me joy to be part of that.
Right. It gives me a joy too that you're a part of it. And it's a joy that while I've had these guests and they have their own lives, I get to be a part of it.
I think we take it one step at a time and meet them where they are and really individualize that care.
I would agree with that. We have it already with IEPs.
That's right. We have it with that. Right now, what's becoming a lot more on the forefront and something that I'm passionate about is that multidisciplinary approach to care, where collaboration, pulling the individual in multiple different directions is not great. We got to come out of our silos, work together, support that individual as a team.
I remember you mentioning that on an interview. Can you go more into that? Because I was really interested on what we can do about that issue where the speech therapist and the OT therapist could work together instead of pulling them all in different directions.
It's one learner and they have one team, and the team really has one mission. Everybody has the mission to support that learner, but they're all doing it in different ways. They usually meet in an IEP meeting once a year, if they ever meet at all. A child might be getting services in a school and then a clinic. And those clinicians barely have a chance to talk to the educators. Everyone's very busy. So we created Circuthera, what used to be ABA Toolbox, as a platform where collaboration can occur in real time. And we're very excited about that.
Right, well, why not dive into that a little more? So, how does Circotherapy make life easier for ABA therapists?
So Circuthera makes life easier for ABA therapists, OTs, PTs, speech therapists, and the most important, the family. What happens is people are well-intentioned. They're pulling the individual in different directions. The collaboration is key because if I'm working on a particular goal and speech is working on that goal as well, we can intentionally make a decision to say, you know what, let's both work on that goal, or it's a waste of time. I'll take it on. You take on something else. That accelerates care. That eases the child's experience with therapy because sometimes they're learning things in 3 different ways and there's already delays, there's already challenges. All that does is actually cause behavior challenges and confusion. I wouldn't want to go to work every day if everyone was talking to me in a different language. Having a tool for collaboration only enhances results.
Why not back it up though with some evidence by telling me an example of a client or practitioner who benefited greatly from Circuthera?
We are launching the collaboration piece. We are right now behavioral health. We will be launching this in June. So we're super excited about it. But what I can tell you is the program that we had in 2003 to 2007, where we won top 3 in the state of New Jersey. We had done this model in real time, in real life, which is what automation is now taking on. So it's super exciting to have had a model that works in real life in real time and automated to make it available to millions, because we only served a couple of hundred, evolving into that automation. So let me answer your question. I remember we had this one child. He had some sensory challenges. He did some things that impeded with his learning with his body. And so OT came along and put together a functional exercise sensory type diet. We would take measurement during our session in the classroom doing ABA. The way that we took measurement was to see how is he able to attend to the task better if we implement this? Is he able to get through his goals? And is he meeting his goals faster? We found with the OT, some of the strategies had to be adjusted based on our data and some of them didn't. And so the OT and I and the educators worked really well together to fine tune her sensory diet. We would fine tune our breaks and our strategies, and we came up with a system that worked even better for the child. The results were enhanced learning. That was very cool.
That does sound very cool. From your perspective, what are some of the most common myths you hear from people who are not ABA therapists? Because trust me, I think you can testify we've heard them all.
There's good reason for that controversy. I think it's because unlike speech, OT and PT that are licensed practitioners, right? Even associate OT, PT, and speech are licensed practitioners. Our field has changed and morphed over the years. I've been in it for about 30 years. It's really shifted. We were not licensed, then we became licensed, and now the RBT came in. Compensation for it has reduced almost by half since I first started for the direct care. We don't have a level of experience, and that's what my private company is now working on, a pilot program to really train people. Sometimes an individual who has zero experience goes in and sits across from a child with autism, and they're supposed to do quote unquote ABA therapy. The Columbia University model, the first level is a teacher, an educator who has had internships. That's how they start their ABA therapy. The controversy is there because we have very different expectations of the level of experience an individual who does ABA. It's all over the place.
But what can we do about it? How can you make sure that ABA techniques are respectful, affirming, and effective at the same time.
Very good training standards. Cannot be one or two workshops and they're off and running. For instance, my training, I had to sit in a room with a PhD level provider for 2 months before she let me be by myself. And every single learn unit or instructional unit that I had to give, we call it a trial, I was corrected, taught, reinforced better, find better motivators, do it this way. And that coaching was so valuable for me. And then I would go into classrooms and paraprofessionals who are the frontliners, the most valuable part, the one-to-one direct care professionals, they're given one workshop, no training, and they're pushed into that position. They can't just take a 40-hour course and be off and running.
I was considering being an RBT therapist. Well, I learned about the 40-hour course, and I thought, that's not going to be enough. I just had to come to the conclusion I'm going to learn as I go on because you said it yourself, 40 hours is not enough.
To learn a whole craft, speech, OT, and PT have gone to school for 2 to 3 years, and they're the ones who are part of their master's program, including college. They have all of this training, and RBT doesn't have to have they can only have a high school degree at minimum, and then they have 40 hours, and now they are treating a child with a diagnosis of autism. There's no other mental health field who has that. Like if someone has ODD, if someone has schizophrenia, if someone has OCD, they're not sitting across from somebody who had a 40-hour course. They're sitting across from a clinician who has had a lot more training to support them through it, to help them find coping skills. We're not doing the same in our field.
But at the same day, you kind of have to respect the efforts there.
They're trying very hard with minimal training.
You were talking about being a paraprofessional. What did you enjoy the most about it?
I've worn a lot of hats. So I've worn the paraprofessional hat. I've worn the BCBA hat for many, many years. I've worn the classroom aide hat and the teacher hat. I really enjoyed the one-on-one I had with kids. I loved having sessions both in homes and in schools.
Now, we talked about earlier the great stuff about ABA, but what are some of the red flags should families look for in a classroom or ABA program? When should the parent pull the kid out?
Interesting question. I think if they're working with the OT-PT speech well, keep them there. And if they're working with qualified professionals, keep them there. And hopefully that there's BCBA support and behavior analytics support on a weekly basis, on a consistent basis, then it's absolutely great to work with that team, collaborate with that team, and request regular meetings, review the data, review the goals, ask questions about what goals they're working on. The red flag situation is if the ratio is not right, the child is stuck in a ratio that doesn't work for them. Sometimes one-to-one is not effective. Sometimes it is. What's the ratio? Asking, is this appropriate for my child's learning? Should they be in a small group or one-to-one?
But speaking of BCBA, from a BCBA and certified special educator perspective, which you are too, what can schools do better to support students with autism socially, emotionally, and academically?
I think that well-rounded programs are key to make balanced, holistic programs and bring the families in for collaboration, because those families live with the children and they need to be part of the model. Using a system like Circuthera is super helpful because we bring in visibility for the families. They can see what the educators are working on a day-to-day basis. They can review the data, see the goals, and automation is key because it brings visibility and it reduces a lot of, I would say, administrative time so that providers have access to a curriculum and assessment within the system, and they can go ahead and program better and spend time with the child. And so I do think that it's definitely worth that collaborative piece is key.
But you're also, as I said earlier, a certified special educator. How's that any different from being a special education teacher?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Thanks. But something else you do is you have Learner Compass. Can you tell me some of the services Learner Compass offers?
Currently, we support early intervention all the way through adulthood. We're about 70 clinicians that I really deeply enjoy working with. Great group. And quality interventions is our complete missions. People who come direct care have 3+ years experience, either the RBT or bachelor's. So they don't just have one workshop, they have experience, which is great. That's been the research and development bed for Circuthera. Great to get like that constant feedback from clinicians about this is too many clicks or this is how we should do it. We want to make our system extremely clinical, user-friendly, and make the lives of those who provide care better.
With Learner Compass framework, how do you measure success or advancement?
Everything we do is very much data-driven. Every single presentation is recorded and graphed. And so we get to see everything that's done through the data that we gather. And we also measure how many goals we get done in a session. And we always strive to do more meaningful amounts of work. Sometimes it's about increasing our pace, and sometimes it's about slowing down our pace based on what the learner needs.
So you also are a owner of the Farschian Art and the Farschian Art Foundation. Can you tell us about Farschian Art and the Farschian Art Foundation?
Would love to. So my father is an artist. He passed this summer, very dear and near to my heart. And he painted since he was 5 years old and lived until age 95. What he taught me is pursue your dreams, be your number one self. He inspired me so much throughout my years. Such a good person, an amazing artist, phenomenal. And he worked really hard. He said he didn't waste any of his life. He worked and did what he loved, and he loved how he worked. What inspired me a lot is when he was little, he said this story to me so many times. He said, when I was little, I will be the greatest artist in the world. And he pasted it on his wall. Every day he looked at that because he wanted to remember his dreams. In life, we have discouraging moments. We have moments of ups and downs. But if we can keep our dream in our forefront, whether it's writing a book, being an artist, being a teacher, whatever we are, if we remember that, it's our North Star. He did. He has 3 museums named after him. He has 7 books published. He has a university named after him. And he's an internationally well-renowned artist. Queen Elizabeth has his artwork. Michael Jackson had his artwork. He touched many, many lives. And I'm forever in awe, grateful to be his daughter. And I love art. So that's a whole nother part of me.
Hey, I love art too. I just can't paint art. I can speak art, just not paint it.
What kind of art do you like?
Well, podcasting, I just consider projects to be an art too.
For sure.
You were talking about the one painting you had about not giving up on life. Were there any other portraits you can tell us about?
He has a lot of paintings. You can check out his artwork by following my last name, putting the word art after it.com, farschianart.com.
I'll make sure to put that in the show notes. Something else you have, though, and I'm going to be sure to put this on the show notes because I very much admire this, is Global Schoolhouse Project. One of the quotes on the website is, "Education is a human right." What does the quote on the Global Schoolhouse Project's website, "Education is a human right," mean to you?
There's a lot of disparity in care. According to UNICEF and WHO, there are many children not going to school or having actual schools. There's children in a global community gathering underneath a tree and they don't even have a schoolhouse. Or they're in bamboo huts, or they're in one classroom with 90 individuals. I was in Johannesburg last November, and special needs school had a ratio of 1 to 17. That should have been much, much less. Or a school that had a classroom of 1 to 70, one teacher to 70, and 2 bathrooms for 1,400 children. And they're waiting outside to go to the bathroom. It's a human right for them to have access to the same level and facilities that are dignified. According to UNICEF and the United Nations right now, the digital divide is the new inequality. Yes, there's facilities and challenges with access to educators, but the digital divide, some children are learning through apps, they're learning through AI, they have access to devices, and there's many who don't. Global Schoolhouse and International Health Awareness Network, where I'm the chair of education, that's our initiative right now to inspire those who can join us and work really hard together to be able to bridge some of those gaps. It's a good cause. It's an important cause.
I would agree with you. There shouldn't be a line for the bathroom because when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, they miss class. They miss tests. They miss out on instruction because they have to wait so long. It's just not hygienic.
So you also are a board member of the International Health Awareness Network. What are some board responsibilities you do as a board member for the International Health Awareness Network?
So that's where we're working with 4 schools right now to close the digital divide. Our goal is 100. Through Global Schoolhouse, I've had about 7 or 8 projects. Through IHAN, International Health Awareness Network, they're an NGO, non-governmental organization. They've done wonderful things around the world, like vaccines and buying ambulances and setting up facilities. My job has been the educational component there.
Do you have a success story where, okay, you didn't close the digital divide, but there was a step where you did close the digital divide?
We have 4 schools. So the ELOF school is the pilot school, and one of our board members is the classroom teacher there. She piloted this and she set up the tablets for them, and they each have access to the tablets about an hour a week, which is tough. It's not enough, but she's been able to house them safely and get the children to work on handwriting and matching and all kinds of really great skills, measuring how access to technology helping those children learn their math and their reading and improving outcomes. One of the gaps that we identified is that it would be great to bring on staff to teach children appropriate apps because they're very short staffed. Can't take the human out of the digital mission. That's for sure.
I'm kind of nervous about one day the world be robots.
Impossible.
I know, it's insane. My
Not
mom
gonna happen.
joked the other day, and see what if I meet my mother for more information. When she was a child, if you would have told her she would have had a computer in her hands, which is a cell phone now these days, she would have laughed in your face.
It's impossible to take the human connection or the need for human connection out of it. I have my own children, and I think they're both really addicted to social media. The more addicted we are to social media or devices, it doesn't help our mental health. We need that connection.
Yes, we do, 100%. I will hop on the bandwagon with you on that one. You also have this A to Z layout. What aspect of the A to Z layout helps customers who want regularity and clarity feel less overwhelmed?
So Circuithera is an A to Z 360 platform. And by A to Z, we mean that the entire workflow can be done in one environment in a seamless type of a way so that all the stakeholders have visibility. And that's where the 360 comes in. So we can zoom in and zoom out. The administrators can get a view of how the agency is doing in an overall kind of way, or the educational system is doing in a whole overall way, like how the classrooms are functioning. And then when you zoom in, you can see how the learners are doing and how they're progressing, including scheduling and billing for an agency can be done in one spot. We have wait lists for autism care, 6 to 18 months. And as you know, the rise is 375% since 2000. So the less manual and the more cohesive, the more children we can serve.
Well, let me ask you this. Does the app show something if they're progressing? Like, does it have an uphill graph if it's going great? Does it have like a downhill if it's going bad? Does it have a medium way straight if it's going decent? What does the app say on when a child is progressing?
I love that question because that was a study done out of Columbia University about the decision protocol. If a graph is flatlining, there are alerts. If it's descending, there are alerts. And if its criteria is met, there's a woohoo. We help providers keep tabs on that.
Let's just keep hoping we get more woohoos in the future. So something else I know about, you fell into the trap of being bullied in C252. I don't like being bullied for more information like my other guests have, so I apologize for that. But what advice would you give to others who are being bullied right now?
I was bullied in school. I was an outcast when I moved countries, and fitting in was challenging for me. Bullying is hard. We have to teach kindness to children. I believe that we're all made in the image of our Creator, and God doesn't make mistakes. I think to be judgmental of others or to be hurtful of others or hurting others is just hurting our own selves at the end of the day. We're all part of the human family. Human rights are key. And teaching children at a very young age to be kind and to not be judgmental is, I think, our responsibility.
Well, let me ask you this then. When did you see the bullying was not your problem, their problem?
It's everybody's problem. That's bad energy in our planet. We all drink from the same fountain at some point.
So I do want to tell you more about your family. Can you tell me how your family has supported you?
Because my father was very much into pursuing his dreams. He supported all of us in pursuing our own. He didn't impose upon us his dreams for us. At one point, I called him and said, Dad, I want to stay in college and study jewelry making some more. I did psychology and I want to do a little bit more. He said, if you're going to be really, really good at it and do your very best, do it. I said, nah, it's just a hobby. He said, come home. He really supported us. And my brother's a physician. We supported him in that. For what I do, they've always been very supportive of that.
And I'm glad that he supported you. And hey, it led you to success.
Success is my learner success. Learners that I interact with or providers that we serve through Circuithera, they succeed, we succeed. We have Amazon as one of our partners right now through AWS, our technology partners, to improve our systems and engineer better and better. We're working hard on that. That's success to me.
So we'll wrap her up here. These are just for some fun questions. So, Miss Leila, what is your paradise meal or favorite food, and why is it your favorite?
Okay, French fries. Definitely French fries, because it's just so good.
That is a good reason. Now, do you like them plain? Do you like them having loaded cheese, bacon on it? Or do you just like a plain French fry from Wendy's?
I like truffle fries.
You want to tell me what truffle fries are? I've never heard of that.
It has like a mushroomy flavor to it. But I also like just regular cheese fries as well. And I like my protein shakes in the morning. That's my healthy balance. If I have French fries, then I got my protein shakes in the morning and pour a whole lot of fruit and spinach in there and peanut butter and eat that too.
I would have peanut butter in my protein shakes, but sadly I'm allergic to it. Maybe I can have soy butter though. That works too for me. We've been doing that a lot lately. So what is your favorite movie or TV show and why do you like it?
Right now, I'm watching The House of David, and I like it because it's historical and inspirational. And I love the movie Harold and Maude because it's just a very inspirational movie. It's very old, and it's inspirational because it talks about a joy for life that is kind of breaks boundaries.
So what's been your favorite vacation I've ever taken and why did you enjoy that vacation very much?
I loved Iceland. It looked like a whole nother planet. I also loved Alaska just because I love warm places, but my favorite for some reason happened to be cold places.
Well, you have fun living in an igloo. I'm gonna have fun on the beach drinking a pina colada. I don't do the cold. No, 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 no way.
That's what I thought too. I want to be on the beach with you. But if you ever want to see something that's like blows your mind in terms of natural beauty of the planet, I say go to Iceland. That's my recommendation. Take it
All
or
right,
leave
fine.
it.
Now, my final question to you is, are there any good memories that you want to tell our listeners about? If you do, why do you remember that memory the most? So before you answer, I want you to end with something sentimental that made you feel good inside. And a funny memory as you fall on the floor laughing. It could be with one of your clients, family. You know how you want to answer it, my friend.
Memory that is sentimental. For me, it would be having conversations with my father while we went and got pedicures the last 10 years. It was very, very sweet. Doesn't really have anything to do with education, but it has to do with connection, making time for our loved ones, keeping balance going in life. One thing I have to say is you just find your teachers in life. Find those people that you can learn from. One of them was my dad. Other mentors along the way in my professional world were Dr. Greer from the Columbia University or Dr. Roshan from EHAN. Find people who inspire you, can help you elevate, encourage you, and something funny. Laughter is key. Laughter is joy.
Before you go on your memory, it's the best medicine.
Laughter is the best medicine.
You can't go wrong with a good belly laugh where you show your teeth and smile.
Absolutely agreed. Maybe you have one for me while I think of one for you.
Well, let me think here while.
All right, I got one. So my son and I were playing backgammon, and he's 12, we're turning 13, and he literally like beats me all the time. I don't know how this kid does it. He's just like this smart. And I love backgammon. He started to give me freebie shots, and he was like, all right, mom, I'm going to move myself back. I have one piece to go, but I'm going to move myself way back. And I rolled a whole bunch of doubles and won. We were both just like laughing so hard because even though he thought it would never happen.
I'm trying to think of one for me here for you. I was on a jet ski once and one family member of mine decided to tip it over.
Were you okay?
I was fine. I was hoping no sharks were around. It was in Destin, Florida's Y, and they're known to have sea creatures among the water.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you're okay and had a good time laughing.
I told him to sit down, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Well, I had so much fun talking with you, Sam, because you asked me like the best questions of anyone who's ever asked me. It's like life is all about being well-rounded and all of our personality traits. You talked about all of it with me. Thank you.
Not a problem. It's just my job, and I think it's a great way to end. I had a great time with you too, and I hope you have a nice evening.
You too, Sam. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining for this episode. Please tune in for another episode coming very soon. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. Thank you very much.